This breaks my heart.
What's up? I'm back with days 6 through 9 from my TransAmerica Trail adventure across America. I'm finally back on the trail and finding my pace after taking a detour down to switch my hard bags to soft bags. And I'll finally get on the trail, and this guy coming up in a second, notice that tree, right? It looks like this guy's already had a pretty hard time with his camper. You can see it's all busted up right there. And he's about to come up to that tree, so I don't know what his plans are there. You can see right here is where he had, I guess, ran into a tree, and all that debris on the ground was pieces of his camper that really he should have stopped and got. In the direction that guy was going, he had already had a pretty good adventure getting over some of this stuff. Right there, I guess that was maybe like a mudslide or something. Some of the road was washed out, and there was quite a few sections of baby heads that you had to just go uphill for a long ways. And then right here was a big rut. I don't really know how he made it through that section, but that's probably why the camper was so torn up, because all of these sections were pretty rough on a bike. Honestly, the TransAmerica Trail is just a tour across America to see a bunch of really cool bridges. And it's nice to see other riders out there. This was a group of 3 guys that were, it looked like they might be doing the TransAmerica Trail too. You can kind of tell if they're doing a long section of trail by how much gear they have. But right here, I ended up taking a detour because the trail was closed in the Cherokee National Forest in the Tennessee side. And there was this, like, I guess a logging road, because they were doing some logging out there that I was hoping would take me around the detour, but it got rough, and then there was that tree, and the trail ahead looked like it was diminishing. So I did the Austin Powers turnaround here. I was bummed out that the detour didn't work because it was going to be a long reroute to go all the way back through the forest that I had already driven through to get back to a main road that would loop back around. And on top of that, right after I got out of this section right here, I got stung by a yellow jacket on the nose, like 1 inch away from where I had just been stung like 2 days before. The swelling had just gone back down. So that is bee sting number 2 of the trip. And you're probably thinking, Jamie, keep your visor down. But it is hot, and yes, I've been keeping my visor down like the whole time, especially after getting stung on the face through my open visor just days before. But it's hot out there. It's still early September, and I've got all of my gear on, and I'm riding a motorcycle all day long through not difficult terrain, but terrain that's technical, and you got to kind of take your time to get through. And really, is there anything that can put you in a better mood than being hot, bundled up in full gear with a throbbing bee sting on your face and a 2-hour detour? But how much can you complain when you're riding a motorcycle across the country? And it's nice seeing people out here, especially after being kind of out in the wilderness for so long. You always stop and give them a thumbs up, make sure they're okay. Alright, I'm really bummed out to say everywhere I'm going for the next 2 days is supposed to be torrential downpouring. I've got a storage unit. I'm having to lock the bike up in Dalton, Georgia. I'm only going home till Tuesday. Basically, the hurricane is coming. Everywhere I'm supposed to go, it's gonna be just raining all day and night, and camping in the rain several days, you know, is not fun. I got a rental car, and I'm just gonna go home. And I'm gonna stay at my house where it's cheap. I don't have to buy a hotel room every night. Today's Thursday. It's supposed to stop raining Tuesday. So instead of just sitting around doing nothing, paying for hotels, I'm just getting a $200 round trip rental car, and I'm gonna go sleep in my own bed. It breaks my heart. In a way, I feel guilty towards myself. You know, in a way, also, I don't want to just sit around. It seems like a better idea. Play it safe, not get wet, not be miserable. Take a few extra days. I feel like I got a really good start for knowing exactly what I'll need. I'm gonna bring all my gear home, pick some different clothes, get rid of some stuff, bring some more stuff that I thought I'd need, and try to pick back up Tuesday and go at it even harder than I did this time. I'm in a pretty sweet rental car on the way home. I got back home and was repacking my gear and saw my other bikes sitting there, and sent videos to my friends and pretty much begged them to come with me and offered to even pay for it, but nobody really can take off that much time for work. And after a few days of waiting out the hurricane, it was time to make the 6-hour trip back to Dalton, Georgia to get my bike. So we made a road trip of it and took the Blue Ridge Parkway and stopped in, did a couple hikes, saw a couple rivers, and had a really beautiful drive on the way back up. Overall, I'm pretty glad that I waited out the hurricane because I ended up missing a lot of really bad weather. And in a lot of the areas that we went to just a couple weeks later would be some of them completely wiped out by Hurricane Helene, which would come just a couple weeks later and would actually flood this whole taco shop completely. After a long trip, I finally made it back to the bike and strapped up my gear, put my boots on, put the soft bags back in, got the bike all together. And with anxious anticipation, I finally got back on the trail.
Not a single one got an idea, so I write it down on this page. Feel like I'm 35 times my age. Look in the mirror, don't know what to say.